we're going to move on to a really critical lesson now, and this is on value congruence. So we're going to discuss a couple of things. What we need to think about is, first of all, is our goal conflicting with our internal personal values? And we're going to get into detail on how we create values and what values we actually hold. Secondly, are the values that I hold towards values or away from values? And then thirdly, how do I figure out what my values are? And it's a very key question, and that is, what is most important to me about, and then you fill in the blank with whatever category it is we're talking about. So in that space, it might sound a little something like, what's most important to me about family? And I really want to ponder this idea, like, what is the most important thing to me about family? What's the most important thing to me about my loving relationship if I have one with somebody? Is it important to me to have a loving relationship? And if so, what's the most important thing for me about not having one, if that's really kind of important to me? And why? So we want to get down underneath to determine what these unconscious values are. Because when there's a conflict between our personal values that we hold as true, things we feel are true, and things we think are valuable, things we think are right or correct, right? In that space, if it's conflicting with this new goal that I have, you can bet your ass that the value is going to win out. Unconscious value behavior is powerful. We move towards specific things that bring us feelings of worth, significance, happiness, feelings of comfort, feelings of whatever, and we're going to get into that in all these lists of values that are important to us. And we also have away from values, where we move unconsciously away from something that might be scary, that might be uncomfortable, that might be something that hurts my feelings, that might be something that is disrespectful to me in my values, and so I move away from those scenarios. Here's an example. Let's say you have a core personal value of loving your family, okay? And you show love to your family, and in your language of love, one way you do that is you love to cook, and you are a really good cook. And this is my personal experience. I love to cook, and I'm a pretty damn good cook, actually. And so I like to share that with my family. And I feel that that's an action of love towards my significant other, or towards my children, or what have you. And I get great value from that. It feeds my soul caring for them in this way. Maybe you can relate to this. And then let's say New Year's comes around, and I haven't been really valuing my health necessarily, and let's say that I want to go to the gym and I want to change my behaviors, and I want to get up in the morning and I want to hit that gym first thing, and I'm going to make these changes, and I'm going to lose those 10 pounds, and whatever the case might be. If I don't address my values of giving in a way which puts me in the kitchen, cooking a lot, munching while I'm cooking, maybe not even that, but just to get up in the morning and have breakfast prepared for my family, to show them how much I love them, yet then I don't get up and go to the gym because it takes me away from this thing that I value so much, guess which one's probably going to win out? So we have to realign our values to be consistent with the new goal or objective. We do this all the time in life. We do it unconsciously often. Our values change based on, sometimes on new goals, new endeavors. You can recognize this if you watch people in relationships, right? You get into a new relationship, and this amazing person that you now think is going to be the real deal for you, and it's all of that, and everything is focused there. All of a sudden, your values start to align with that person's values, probably so that you can feel more connected, so you can get some value in a way of feeling special and love and camaraderie and rapport what have you, right? You see it all the time. You see it in interactions, rapport interactions. You see it in groups of people. You see it in social environments. And you see it constantly in any new endeavor that gets changed, that it's going to last long term. The goal will not last long term and definitely cannot be achieved unless my values are adjusted, that becomes important to me. Does that make sense? And that's that question. What's the most important thing to me about family? What's the most important thing to me about my relationships? What's the most important thing to be about work? Let's say that it's important that this year you make a ton of money, right? I need to make a ton of money. I've got some things that we need to do. House needs repaired. I need a new roof, yada, yada, yada. I want to set that as my objective. Finance is my big objective, and I'm going to work my tail off, and I'm going to put in the overtime, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. But yet I have a real core value of spending time with my family, being there for my children when they wake up, being there for sure when they get ready to go to bed. Definitely need to be there when they're having dinner, because we all need to do that together. And these are core, deep values that I hold true way inside, unconscious behavior. That will be an absolute conflict for me to get up early and go into the office, or for sure to stay late, or to miss the soccer game for Susie, or to not be there when there's a school event going on where I can be there for my children. Does that make sense? And I know that that's kind of extreme, but there's just so many times that that's what we try to do with goals. We try to set this new goal, but we don't even recognize or pay attention to what our values are in that category. And then do those things mesh? Do they line up? Are they congruent? So that's what we're going to do in this next course. And in the lesson of values and congruence, we're going to go through some exercises so that you can identify your core values. You can understand what you feel is right, true, valuable, what might be wrong. All of these things that we hold, right? We get these values from our parents, our mothers particularly, our fathers potentially, when we're little tiny kids, and when they say, this is important, this is priority, this is how the Mortons do it, this is how we do things as a family, and then we just all of a sudden have this value, but maybe it isn't even our value. So we have to really look at that. That's what we're going to do in the next portion of this class, and I'm sure you're going to get a lot of really good information out of this. And I want you to do the exercises, okay? I want you to literally perform the practice. Let's get down to it. Let's not mess around, so that we can then go to the next step, which is reps and conditioning, utilizing a specific strategy to maximize our capabilities so that we can hit that goal, so that we can hit this targeted goal mastery for any level of achievement in any area that we're trying to move and grow and create behavior alteration and character alterations for, so that we can be the best that we can be. Let's get on to it.